Hi all, my name's Tom Crawford. Some of you may know me, but for those who don't, I made a video regarding our eviction on the 23rd of July of last year. This video is really a follow-up of that one, because 2 days ago at 5 o'clock in the morning we had banging, very loud banging on our door. It was so loud the neighbours were woken, the one across the street and the gentleman next door to us. There was a large gentleman there shouting at my wife when she peered through the blinds that he had 2 letters and to take them off him. She told him to go away. She eventually woke me up. I came through and went down to him. He was sitting in his car outside, and I told him in no uncertain terms to clear off. Now, I pose a question to you. Why would anybody turn up at 5 o'clock in the morning to deliver letters and bang so loud that it disturbed the peace? In fact, it was a breach of the peace, which I reported to the police. The only reason I can think is it was intimidation, to put fear into my family and myself. It is also terrorism. Mr. Cameron is banging on about terrorism abroad and what might happen in this country. Well, if you're listening, Mr. Cameron, it is happening. My family and myself can identify the criminals. So the letters were eventually stuck to our door with the assistance of a police sergeant from our local station, I believe. He came up just after 8 o'clock, didn't knock on the door this time, just stuck them on and did a quick U-turn and cleared off. Obviously, they'd employed the police as witnesses. This is a civil matter. The police should not have been involved whatsoever unless I'd called them. Now, in the letters, and this is the reason really for the video, it's a coincidence I suppose, on the 23rd of January at 10:30, 23rd again, they're going to be coming along to evict my family and myself. And for those who won't watch the original video, a quick reminder. We had spent 25 years paying for our bungalow. We'd come to the end of it, and Bradford and Bingley now wants the same amount again. They've already had over 3 times the original costs. They changed our mortgage from an endowment and apologised, and then when we assumed that they'd put it back to its original, they changed it again. And then we notified them, and they wouldn't do anything about it. In fact, after that they changed it to an interest only. That is why they're coming back for our home. They've had all the money. They're not taking my home. So for all those on the 23rd of January at 10:30 who once again will stand in solidarity with my family and myself. The last time police assisted criminals like this was in Nazi Germany and in Russia. They used to bang on the door and drag people out of their beds without proper documentation. They did what they wanted to. I consider these bailiffs like Nazis, and they're aided and abetted by the court. And I know they're being assisted by the court because I've been battling the court. I've given them the documentation to prove that they have no right for what they're doing. Just to give you a heads up on it, when they started this procedure in the first place, you were supposed to pay a fee as you would to start anything. You couldn't even get an MOT without paying a fee. But the solicitors for Bradford and Bingley didn't do this, so the case shouldn't even have started. And the last warrant, there was no fee for it either. There was no request for the warrant, there was no order for the warrant, and the clerks in the Nottingham County Court simply issues these. It is totally fraudulent. It is criminal. Now, anyone who wants these documents, they are going to be published to assist other people. We have now the proof that the County Court are producing not only County Court documents, but they're pretending that High Court documents are coming out of the same office. A judge doesn't see these. It's the clerks in the County Court that's issuing them. This is totally illegal and unlawful. They are abusing the statutory powers, which is a criminal offence, common law, and it means 7 years in jail. And I've been reminding them many times, and this is why they've drawn a line in the sand. Unfortunately, our little bungalow has been pushed to the front line, and this line is where I will stand. They won't take my home. They won't take my family out of this home. I do not bow down to criminals. If the mafia came round and said, we want money, or we'll do this, the police would have locked them up. But Bradford and Bingley, with the assistance of the court and the bailiffs, are doing precisely the same thing, unlawfully. For 3 months I wrote to Bradford and Bingley, asking them to produce the evidence that I owe them money, and they never replied. And I challenge Richard Banks, the CEO of Bradford and Bingley Asset Management. I'll give you a face-to-face talk, and maybe I'll arrest you for attempted fraud, because every man and woman has the power to do that. All those people that will hopefully, if they'd be so kind, to stand in solidarity with my family, will be standing in common law. The bailiffs, if they turn up, we will arrest you. So, last time, it was absolutely astounding, the response we had. The media got involved as well, and they're getting involved this time. So I'd like everyone to make them welcome, because these are the people that have to tell the true story. Maybe these people pay for their advertising, but they've got to get a conscience. They've got to get the soul and print the proper story. I will give them all the details. Now, once again, the young lady at our local is going to assist all the kind people that's coming. The whole community has come together again. And we know that these people won't turn up. The only act in the dark, as that bailiff came at 5, proves. We know their system. They intend, if they do not take this home on the 23rd, they will turn up unannounced and try and do it secretly. But here's a little bit of information for the bailiffs and the court. They use a document called a 293A. They have to fill in all that details, and then they move it up from the county court to the High Court. Well, that document is only for monetary dispute, not to take property. And it states, and it underlines on that document, only trespassers can be removed. I'm not a trespasser, and we've got the documents to prove that I can never be a trespasser. Anyone that stays on after a lease or after a mortgage, in their CPR rules states it cannot be considered as a trespasser. That means this document cannot be used to move up to a high court. So they can't get a high court writ. And if they do, it's fraudulent. So I'd like them, the bailiffs, to come along on the 23rd. Give me the documents to examine. I've already asked for them, but they won't give them to me. They simply refuse. What sort of justice is this? There is no justice. But common law is coming, and I warn the courts, I will not stand down on this, and I will not be removed from my home that I sweated and my wife went to work for years and years, to be simply stolen from us. You've terrorized my daughter. You've terrorized Sue, my wife. You won't terrorize me. You'll intimidate me. But there's more of us than there is of you. And you are criminals, and you know you're criminals. And Richard Banks, there's your challenge. I know where you live, but I have too much humanity to actually publish your name and address. So, once again, there'll be a nice cup of tea. I'll try and get some biscuits in this time, because it will be cold, and they did particularly pick this time of year because they thought the weather might be bad and you won't turn up. They've thought it through. But they won't succeed. So, thank you again, and I apologise if I went a bit rambling there. I'm angry at them. They are serious criminals, and they have to be stopped. And they will be stopped. There's an election coming up, Mr. Cameron. Remember. Thank you very much for listening to me. Take care.